See, I would argue with you a little bit on the Magic Johnson point of how much he was going to come into the office or any of that, because we've certainly seen dynamics in the NBA where you have a killer general manager who is a long-term basketball front office guy who really knows how to work the league, has experience with trades, experience with recruiting free agents, and then someone who's in over them as not necessarily a figurehead, but a face of the organization.
Yes.
I don't know how many days Jerry West comes into the office in the Clippers, but I know that they have a powerhouse
no
front
comparison
office.
to Jerry West to Magic. Those two jobs are completely different.
Well, I'm saying is that the Clippers have such a powerhouse front office that no matter how much Jerry West comes in, the fact that he's Jerry West and that if it's a free agency meeting, he can be Jerry West. If the Lakers had set up a dynamic where they had a more experienced front office and Magic Johnson was just going to be the guy who would come out, wave, make the fans feel excited, make LeBron feel good when he was there, make the free agents when he sat in the free agent meeting and did that smile and did the recruiting pitch, and then they had an organization under him, I don't think he would need to have been more than part-time.
Who decides that?
I agree with you that I think it was a mistake for ownership to put two people together as the head of that front office who were both new to this job, right? And I think it was a mistake this summer to go into this next free agency period without fixing that. Look, we're going to talk. You mentioned it, Scottie. So we're going to talk about free agency a little bit. What do you think? Frank Vogel today introduced his new coach. I do want to get to his soundbite first, and then I will ask what you think it's going to be like in those meetings. Take a listen to Frank.
The perception of our organization is very far from the reality, from my experience coming in here, of just the thoroughness of the work. The collaboration of how things are being done with the decision making, and quite frankly, there's a lot of positivity. I understand what the perception is when you lose for a few years and some things happen, like that can happen. Okay, but there's a positive vibe happening with our team right now. There really is. Okay, and it's just one of those things that you're just going to have to wait and see. Okay, but you're going to be happy with the product that we put on the floor this year and where we're going as an organization. You really are.
I respect what Frank's saying. I'm sure it's been nice in the 3 days that he's been into the organization. But, Scottie, as you just said, if you were a free agent, I want to put you now in the player seat, right? If you're a player taking meetings with them this summer, first of all, even deciding to agree to a meeting,
right?
Who do you think is in the room pitching you, and is that convincing? It's Rob Pelinka. I don't know if Magic, we've heard that Magic might, quote, advise and come back for some of this, but it doesn't seem that that's a good match or mix at this point. So it's Rob Pelinka and Frank Vogel in the meeting pitching you. What would you think of that?
I'm going to be wondering, where's LeBron? Do LeBron want me? And what's his take on all this? How does LeBron feel? Because I think LeBron has been behind the scene on all of this, even losing Magic. And, we heard where him and Alonzo was talking about how this all came down on the Magic deal. So we don't really know where LeBron's head is in all of this. And do he want to play for Frank Vogel? Do he think he can win again playing for the Lakers? Because honestly, if they don't get a good free agent, and I mean a good free agent,
right.
I'm talking one of the top players in the game, then I don't think they're going to be able to compete in the West anyway.
Say a few things about Frank. He definitely is an optimist.
Yep.
There were many dark days when he was in Indiana where he was the ray of sunshine. It is totally his personality to be the optimist situation. Second, in 15 years when he writes his memoir and you're listening to the audiobook on 6 times speed, I would love to know what he thinks about this day, what was going through his mind, because he's got to be thinking, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I knew this was going to be tough, but this is my first day.
Right,
Magic goes on first day.
Exactly.
And I got to do this. So he is equipped to do this. And honestly, Scottie, I think that LeBron really does respect Frank Vogel. I think he respects the hire. I think he will play for him. But as you said, the challenge is the players. You can get the best coach in the world if they don't fix this roster. And to get players is going to take leadership. And again, I go back to where's the leadership? And
where's LeBron going to be in the recruiting? He has said, he sat down in an interview with me, even just at Christmas time, and said, you better believe I'm going to be recruiting. I'm going to be on my phone. He said, I'm going to show up at people's doorsteps. I don't expect him, though, to be in those meetings. This is not reporting on my part. He's never done it before. We saw Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green fly across the country to the Hamptons, hence the Hamptons 5, to recruit Kevin Durant. I haven't gotten any indication from anyone that LeBron would suddenly do an about-face and be in those free agent meetings. Do you think that he would?
To be clear, I don't know what his plans are, but historically that has not been something he wants to do. He is involved, but he is not the point man on it. And that is a strategic decision on his behalf because he wants to distance himself from the actual tip of the spear and the personnel decisions. He never wants to be seen as a general manager, and I think he takes steps to back off of that.
And by the way, just to give you an indication of some of even the petty level of back and forth that goes on around this franchise, one of the things Magic said that probably slipped under the radar with all the other things he said on First Take this morning is that he was questioned on his track record in terms of acquiring and trading players, and he was asked about that Zubac trade to the Clippers right at the deadline that the Clippers say they couldn't believe that they got called and offered this, and they considered it one of the best things to happen to them in that last third of the season. Magic basically said, what did he ever do? What did he really do for the Clippers?
He asked how much he averaged in the playoffs, which was 5 points and 5 rebounds.
Zubac with this tweet response this morning. So to the smallest of levels, it doesn't stop with this franchise. And, look, we're going to have to see how it shakes out.